Russian cosmonauts left stranded on the ISS as faulty spacecraft is forced to return to Earth. The two Russian cosmonauts and a U.S. astronaut were supposed to return to Earth on Soyuz MS-22 rocket in March. Two Russian cosmonauts and the U.S. astronaut have been left stranded on the International Space Station after a technical issue with the Soyuz MS-22 spacecraft that was supposed to return to Earth, now Russia will have to launch another Soyuz rocket to return them. Sergei Prokopyev, Dmitry Patilin, and Francisco Rubio were set to return to the Blue Planet, our Earth that is, our home, aboard the Soyuz MS-22 in March, following a mission on the ISS. But last month, their original capsule suffered from the so-called coolant leak, which reportedly came from a tiny puncture in the external radiator of the Soyuz MS-22 capsule, currently docked on the ISS. Russian space agency Roscosmos said the expedition of Sergei Prokopyev, Dmitry Petelin, and Francisco Rubio to the ISS is being extended. They will return to Earth on Soyuz MS-23. The launch of Soyuz MS-23 will be February 20th in an unmanned mode. The damage to the radiator pipeline reportedly came as a result of a meteorite, according to the space agency. Roscosmos added that the diameter of the hole was less than 1 millimeter. The incident has caused major disruption for Russia's ISS plans, slamming the brakes on planned spacewalks by its cosmonauts as officials prioritize fixing the leaky capsule, which functioned as an emergency capsule pod for the crew. This means that they're left stranded if serious problems develop in the station's living quarters, as appears to have happened. However, this is also likely to cause headaches for NASA, which said last month that it was assessing whether SpaceX's Crew Dragon spacecraft provide a ride home for some ISS crew members as an alternative if Russia fails to launch another Soyuz rocket. The issue comes decades into the long partnership of running the station, which has continued despite tensions soaring back down on Earth amid the Ukraine conflict, and it was thought that the ISS costs around $1.3 billion a year to operate, and the two stations were working together to fix the current issue, despite the Cold War legacy and surging geopolitical climate. John Logsdon, professor emeritus at George Washington University and founder of its Space Policy Institute, told Grid, up to now, the White House explicitly has built a wall around ISS and space cooperation that kept it separate from the general pattern of U.S.-Russian relations. He said, so there has been an explicit but unstated and understood policy that as long as Russia keeps up its part of the bargain in the partnership, that we would not do anything to influenced by external factors like Crimea or Ukraine. Roscosmos' Sergei Krikalev said that at a media briefing, if we have some technical discussion among us or inside on the Russian side, then we share results of the discussion with our partners. The Soyuz program is the longest operating human spacecraft program in the history of space exploration, with the first ever crewed flight into space taking place back in April 23rd, 1967. The spacecraft generally weighs 7 tons and measures 7.2 meters in length and 2.7 meters in diameter. They open solar panels, open after launching, and carry up to 3 astronauts at a time, according to the European Space Agency's website. Elon Musk's SpaceX Crew Dragon is also set to splash down today after it undocked from the ISS on Monday. If all goes well according to plan, the robotic space cargo will splash down off the coast of Florida. It was launched by SpaceX Falcon 9 rocket November 26, bringing with it around 7,700 pounds, that's 3,500 kilograms of cargo to the ISS. The package included 2 new International Space Station rollout solar arrays, which NASA astronauts deployed during 2 spacewalks. A number of scientific experiments were also being ferried over by the spacecraft. The mission was given the name CRS-26, as it was the 26th robotics resupply flight to the ISS, piloted by SpaceX. One experiment will involve the growing of dwarf cherry tomatoes on the orbiting lab to study off-Earth food production. The Soyuz program is the longest operating human spacecraft program in the history of human space exploration, with the first crewed flight into space taking place back in April 23rd, 1967. And this is on Express UK by Jacob Paul. Please leave your comments, and thank you for your support. Kindly support my Patreon account. The daily posts are 5 videos daily, and they are totally different from what I have on my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for your support, and that you find all my content so interesting. You'll find the Patreon account details in the description box